And welcome back. Picking up where we left off last time in Solar Expanse as NASA in our Fission all the way sort of house ruled game here, where we're only allowed one Eagle, one Stratos, and one Hermes. And yeah, to be fair, we're reaching the point where I can probably, as soon as I figure out ways to get off of other planets, the Stratos, the Eagle, and the Hermes may in fact be quickly retired. Gas core fission here. In fact, actually, I might retire the Hermes even before that because it's a little bit too duplicative of the Prometheus. Working towards the Pelican. These are the techs I gotta work through, so we're quite a ways off in actual physical time. Not this tech, but the next tech is another 100% nuclear engine exhaust velocity efficiency, which is nice. And actually, we're going to have two back-to-backs, so 100% and this one, which is another 75%, so it's good. But yeah, let's pop in on Mars, and we can start working down the list. In theory, I have enough water production here, because this is Mars, and we have a mining drill in situ, that it probably makes sense to do the hydroponics farm before the water ice extractor, because I probably don't need the water ice extractor for the first wave of stuff. So hydroponics farm, so it's 50 metal into the water ice extractor. And that leaves me with another none power. That's all the power. Okay, so that is going to be the concern there, is I've run out of power to use. And habitat costs power. Okay. I'm gonna have to get more glass delivered, I think. Or the radioisotope generator. Or, frankly, both. Radioisotope generator might actually be lighter to deliver from raw power standpoint. It only weighs 5 tons. Yeah, I might try to deliver a radioisotope generator. Eventually, we're going to be able to do silicon. We're going to be able to see what we're doing on Mars here, which is use silicon to produce. But yeah, I think we're good for the moment. We got Hermes in orbit. Let's see if we can get the Hermes to go home. Or if it's stuck there. Actually, you're going empty because I'm pretty sure I can't get you to make it back with nothing, or with everything on board. Yeah, so you can make it back. So minimum fuel, optimal trajectory. Go back. Okay, so we can get life on Mars done. I need to get the Prometheus out to Mars to do the Phobos carbon if I want to do the Phobos carbon, just to complete that. Now, for Lutetia, Lutetia, is that the inner belt? Yeah, it's the inner belt. So I'm going to set you as a favorite, so it's easy to get to, so I can come in here for Lutetia. I obviously need to deliver a probe here to figure out what's here. I need to bring mining capacity here. I suppose... Ooh, and this is going to be the complicated thing. I don't have a way off of Lutetia, so I can't actually complete that quest. Don't think I can complete that quest with the one I have right now. So I suppose actually probing Lutetia and porous carbon might actually have to wait, because this is involving getting off of a body. Although Lutetia is an asteroid, so Lutetia doesn't have a orbit. It's not like... So I can't do Phobos because I can't get off of it, but I can get off of Lutetia with the... because there's no orbit on Lutetia. That makes sense. Okay. So on Earth, let's pop to Earth. I need a new probe, because I need to probe Lutetia. I'm going to need mining modules. Let's bring a construction module along as well. So in theory, there is metal and rare earth metals, or rare metals, silicon, and water there. In theory, all that will be mineable, so... The only thing I'm missing for a permanent colony there would be carbon, which we'd probably ship in on a Prometheus. Okay. Probe, construction equipment... Trying to evaluate between overbringing and underbringing. You know, I'm going to bring 5 mining modules, because I'm going to hold off and probably bring people to mine on Lutetia. Oh, well, I'll bring a mobile habitat along. Mining module, construction modules, mobile habitat. Anyway, basically, I'm going to get that built. Actually, that's going to be ordered better that way, because then you can help with the building. Okay. And then, do I want to send more stuff to Mars? I've worked out that I probably want my radioisotope generator there. Well, the question is, do I want to build I don't want to build a new one because I'm working on Lutetia. One on the moon is still waiting for the solar panels to make it surplus, which is going to happen eventually. It's a patience thing. Okay. The other alternative for more power on Mars is to literally get more solar panels. But the problem, I suppose, with doing solar power on Mars is it's Mars. So we're too far away from the sun. We're only getting 1 power per panel. And dragging 60 tons of stuff to Mars for a single power is pretty bad. How much more do I want to power in this first wave? Or I suppose this is actually the second wave. I'd like to have the alloy smelter going, so that's 2.5. So that's actually 3 solar panels right there. Yeah, it's going to be so much easier just to build another radioisotope generator. Or get the first one going. Okay, so we're waiting until the stuff on Earth is built before I do any more shipping. Yeah. I just picked up the Martian, colonize Mars. Apparently that didn't complete... Well, it should have completed the exact same time as the last one, but... There's even a little bit more delay on that one. Okay. I know I want another radioisotope generator out on Mars. In fact, I'm tempted to say I want more than one, but I think I'm going to limit myself to one for the moment. So get that building as well. This hydroponic farm is done on Mars, so Mars should be feeding itself at this point. Yep, producing 10 times more food than it needs. Good to know. Contract complete. Life on Mars. Exploiting Mars travel ore is the first step to our self-sufficient existence on the Red Planet. Now that we don't need to struggle to survive there, we will thrive. Mars colony. The time has come to colonize Mars. Now that we can provide our population industry with everything we need, we should begin construction of habitats to house newcomers and their future families. So construct a habitat and then have 100 people on Mars. Actually, it says deliver 100, so it wants 100 new people on Mars. Fair enough. And the habitat shouldn't take too long. I gotta wait until this hits 100, and then we can build it with the local stuff. It's gonna be getting the power for that's actually gonna be the drawback. I need the power for that as well. Although I could probably... I don't need these crew modules anymore, right? We've got the 30 habitation space, 300. Okay, so yeah, these can be demolished. And then actually returns some of the materials we need. So, yeah, I'm literally just waiting on power at this point. And the next batch of 100 would be technically coming in with their own modules. Okay. Back on Earth. We're waiting for those to build so we can get them launched to orbit. Okay, so let's do our orbital launch. Earth to Earth orbit. Orbital payload container. Add resources. Add... Oh no, actually add modules. There we go. And then I might as well push up all the hydrogen I've got on the planet. And more fuel? Sure. There we go. They're in orbit now. So I can send off a Prometheus to Lutetia. One Prometheus. Add all the modules. Except the radioisotope generator. Do you have any carbon in orbit? I don't have any carbon in orbit. Sure, probably should have launched. We'll just run as this. On the optimal trajectory, I only need 142 outbound. So I only need to bring along enough. In theory, I suppose I only need to bring along enough that I've got a surplus of 142 in the cargo for the return trip. So that's more than I need. That's more than I need. That's more than I need. Go a little bit more than that, because I'm planning on bringing a little bit of stuff back. That should technically be allowing me to load everything back up and fly back, if I need to. So that'll work. That's my Lutetia trip. Then... I suppose I'm just going out to Mars with just the radioisotope generator, because that's how desperate I am for power. And I suppose I'm also there maybe to try to do Phobos Carbon. Maybe to try to do Phobos Carbon. I don't think I can do Phobos Carbon, because I don't have any launch vehicles. And the Prometheus is probably... I don't think the Prometheus can land. We'll go test that theory. So Earth orbit to Mars orbit with the Prometheus, because it's reasonably fuel efficient. We are to deliver the radioisotope generator. And what else do I have in orbit that I might want to bring? Missiles. No. No, not really. Yeah, I think we just fly... We just fly with the radioisotope generator. It's a bit of an empty load, but that's probably fine. Optimal window for transit. We need 18 tons to do the transit, so this is way overkill. Especially because I've got hydrogen there. Like, if we go 100 tons, I've got enough to do the trip back with the same load. Yeah. Yeah, definitely not an efficient transit. We'd probably want to be bringing more stuff along, but don't need that much right now. So yeah, we'll let that advance while we're trying to save up glass here. Let's get another glass maker going. Yeah, let's get another glass maker going. And then as a follow-up to that, let's get another silicon mine going. And we unpause, let time pass. And then we'll get another solar panel going as soon as the glass hits 50. So the more glass makers are good, the quicker we make the glass, the quicker we make the solar panels, the sooner we can get the radioisotope generator off to greener pastures. "50 days and the metal deposit will be empty." Yeah. Well, at least then we can recycle the metal mines. And transit on you. I'm not ready to take the radioisotope generator. Oh, hydrogen. I think I probably have enough. Luna to Earth, orbit, Stratos, add the crew compartments empty. Then hydrogen. I don't have the propellant. I need 329. Okay, so not there yet. So we got one heading out to Lutetia, one heading out to Mars. Yeah, and the metal mine is in fact empty. So these metal mines are surplus to requirements at this point. Which I suppose has freed up a bunch of power, although not yet enough to take the radioisotope generator away. Getting pretty close, though. And we're now slowly burning down the metal supply. Although I apparently have 10 years, 11 years, or almost 12 years of metal stockpiled from mining the moon dry. Okay, so we can get another solar panel going. At which point I should have enough power I can pull the generator. Yeah, because if I pull the 15, That'll bring us down to 37, which is enough, because we're only consuming 34. I almost have enough fuel to have the Shadows do the return flight. Oh, and our stuff arrived in Mars orbit, so you can drop to Mars. So Mars will have some power. And then the Prometheus wants to fly, because I want to test something. Mars orbit to... wants me to take stuff from Phobos. So please fly out to Phobos. Pretty much empty. Well, if you take along 100 hydrogen, just in case. Not completely trivial. Pretty trivial for the trip. And then from Phobos to Mars. Theory, I need to add resources, form of silicon. No, back. Oh, no, Phobos and Mars, yeah. Add resources in the form of cyclical mission. Phobos to pick up carbon. Mars to Phobos, I don't have anything on the way back. Wind car is full. And I got no launch vehicle, so this is no go. No go. So yeah, if I want to complete that quest, I need to either get a launch vehicle on Phobos, and technically one on Mars. Or I probably could do that with the Stratos would work. Might work with the Stratos. It does not work at the Prometheus. That's what we just tested. That's what I wanted to test while we were out here. Okay, well then we're gonna change the destination because we don't need to be out here. Go to Mars orbit. No, and we're in orbit, so Phobos orbit. No, we're not on a cyclical mission anymore. Back to the beginning of the thing. Prometheus. We're not taking anything. Get back to Mars where all the fuel is. And then do the Mars orbit to Earth orbit transfer. Optimal transfer window, minimum fuel, and your go. Now, on Mars, I have more power. Now, one thing I probably could do with is more mining. I only have 30 workers. No, it's currently self-sufficient, other than having to have carbon shipping. And technically they don't need carbon for another 30, just short of 40 years. So the first thing I'm going to have them do is technically have a quest to set up a habitat. We're going to delay that bit. First thing I'm going to have them do, build a metal mine. So we have more metal. And then we're going to let some time pass. So we have 100 metal, and then I will get the habitat going as the number 2. And then number 3 is probably going to be... Do we do a silicon? No, I should do metal. Do more metal. Get the metal speed going up a little bit faster. I'm happy to say burn through this metal deposit in, say, the next 10 years. Build up until I'm close to that number. Although I only have enough people working here to do another thing, which probably wants to be the next metal mine. And then we were looking to bring another 100 people over, and at that point we're probably looking to do the research lab. Okay. I suppose on Earth I can start contemplating just prepping for that launch. Yeah, let's start prepping for that launch. So, if I'm going to do 100 people, I need, obviously, crew compartments for 100 people. Just 20 crew compartments. That means I need 20 crew compartments worth of alloy, because it's not going to let me build 20 without a lot of complaints. Without buying the alloy first. And then in theory, I can shift-click to build 10 of these big ones. So 10, 20. So that is 100 people worth of people moving capacity. And honestly, that should fit on a Prometheus, so I could load a Prometheus up with it. I'm actually at the point where I think I should disassemble the Hermes. I don't think the Hermes is useful. 20 kps versus... KMS. Versus 20 KMS. Yeah, so... Without any upgrades, well, now that we have an upgrade on the Prometheus, the Hermes is not worth it, so I should probably disassemble the Hermes. Yeah, we did one flight with the Hermes. We decided it's not for us. How do I disassemble it? That's a good question. You have to be in Earth orbit to proper disassembly. There we go. Yeah, scrapping the Hermes. Hermes is gone. Stratos is still our only launch vehicle for Luna, so that's effectively what it's getting used as at this point. That said, I think it is time for a Luna to Earth orbit. Transfer. Stratos. Add modules. Empty crew compartments. Add module. Radio isotope tuner. Add resources. More hydrogen. Don't have the fuel. I'm 4 short. Basically 4 short. Okay, let's pass enough time so we get 4 more fuel. There we go. Oh, and I don't really need those construction modules on the moon either. You know, we'll grab those while I'm thinking about them. I might want them elsewhere. Because I have people on the moon, I always have effectively 1 construction capacity. And then we'll do the rest as hydrogen. Yep. You got enough power production. In fact, we're up 3.5 over what we need. And I suppose the next thing we're going to build is actually more power. Or is it more water splitting for more hydrogen production? Or should I build more fuel? Too many questions. Too many different things I should be building. Oh, never mind, I am wrong. I do need a construction module. I need to bring one of the construction modules back then. Fair enough. Gonna drop those on Earth. And I'm gonna get the Stratos to actually bring the construction module back. I screwed up. Shouldn't have taken the last one. I only need one there because I don't need very many. Yeah, I should bring more fuel along. We'll bring more fuel along. I'm gonna launch this Eagle to orbit with fuel because I think I'm a little low on fuel. Oh, I got it backwards. That's fair. Oh, payload container. Add resource. Fuel. Yep. On the Eagle. Yep. Launch, please. Yep, building these compartments. I could transport more out to the moon, but we're not going to right now. Anyway, here we're waiting until we get to 50 of those. Should I do more fuel production? We'd have to bring rare earth metals. Okay. I'm not sure if the launch pad affects the launch costs on the Stratos. You know, there's no reason not to build it. I got the metal, so we'll build it. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Probably the first way to describe that. And yeah, there's an argument to building more fuel. We just brought more fuel in, so I'm less desperate for it, but there's an argument to bring more fuel in. Okay, I think I know how we're going to work this. Stratos, Luna, because I don't need to take stuff off of Luna right now. Earth orbit. Well, I do, kind of. I want the hydrogen off of Luna. Take the 100 tons of hydrogen to Earth. With the minimum amount of fuel. And then on Earth, I probably want to get some rare earths shipped to orbit on the next Eagle, so that I can build more fuel refining on the moon. Because I'm getting a little impatient is probably the best way to describe what's going on there. Out on Mars, what are we waiting for out on Mars? I'm building the habitat, and I suppose I'm actually waiting on the metal. So let some time pass. Eagle needs to reset anyway. And we got our Fission mission going. Did we just finish the tech? We did. Okay, so we've got gas core fission. So at this point, the nuclear reactor is at its most optimal power. I think that's a sum of plus 100% on the nuclear reactor. So the cost of 0.2 titanium per 0.2 fissiles, tons of fissiles per day. It now, in theory, produces a whopping 1,000 energy per day. Yeah. If you need power, that sounds like you need power. That's pretty good. This is mainly for us unlocks for other stuff we need to unlock. So I need it for this one, and I need it for this one. So nothing super spectacular as of yet. Back on the moon. Get the next solar panel under construction. And then Earth. Earth is slowly building. Do I want all those ready for launch on the next launch? Honestly, probably not. I probably don't want to launch more to the moon at the moment. Although I could. I've got the space on the moon, which would be the reason I would wait. Because then I'd have a batch going into the moon and a batch going out to Mars. 50 to the moon, 100 to Mars. Oh, that's an argument to be building a carbon mine on the moon, or on Earth. I think about that. I'm thinking here. We got... I think I wait for the rest of my launch pods before we launch the Falcon. I want 100 tons of rare earth or rare metals for the moon. Because I'm gonna ship it up to orbit. Basically 200 tons of stuff is gonna go out to the moon. The rest is gonna be going for Mars. What else do I want for Mars while I'm thinking about Mars? Mars is going to get 200 tons of people. It probably makes sense to get, say, another 200 tons, maybe even 400 tons of carbon. Yeah, let's think 400 tons of carbon. What do I need for the research laboratory I don't have in situ? I need alloys, a lot of alloys. I probably want a vehicle assembly too. So 200 that, 200 that. Actually, I'm doing 400 tons of carbon, that's actually my full 800 ton launch. Okay, then we're not doing 400 tons of carbon because I want to do some alloys. I think I'm going to do 200 tons of alloys as well. Technically, I can make those at Mars, but then I've got to get the whole production chain up and running. And I'm out of power. Well, no, I'll have more space on the launch. I just want to have more space on the Earth launch. So stuff in orbit, in Earth orbit, I can spend. And stuff in Earth orbit includes my radioisotope generator. More power, yes. Okay. So Earth, I want to buy 200 tons of carbon. And 200 tons of alloy. And then we want those constructions finished. So let's finish those constructions. Also, Mars now has the metal for the next metal mine, which I will build. Oh, it has more than enough metal for the next metal mine, because I've only got I've got the first rate of isotope turner is going to provide plenty. Fair enough. Okay, I'm ready for my planned launch. So, Earth to Earth orbit. That's the moon. That's not Earth, but what? Nope. Payload container. Add modules. Mm. 300 tons of crew compartments. Add resources. 200 tons of carbon. 200 tons oops, add resources. 200 tons of carbon. Because I would put the alloys in. Add resources. 200 tons of rare metal. No, 100 tons of... Wait. Oh, yeah. 100 tons of rare metal. Yeah, that works. On the Eagle... Oh, and I'm short on fuel. Yep. Buy the missing fuel. I'm gonna splurge and buy 9 million. Never mind. We'll buy as we need it. I don't need to buy that much. Okay. Up in orbit. So Earth orbit to the moon. We got the Stratos going. Take as much fuel as you can, because you need it for the return trip. And then need to plan the Prometheus trip. So once again, Earth orbit to Mars orbit with the Prometheus. Add the modules. Add a resource. Carbon. 200. Add a resource. Alloys. 200. Add a resource. More supplies. 190. Optimal transit window. Mission length just over, or just, yeah, well, 6.5 months. We got supplies for 7 years, so they shouldn't run out of supplies anytime soon. In theory, that would be arriving with half the fuel tank. How much hydrogen do I have in Mars orbit? More than enough for a return trip, even if they were fully loaded for the return trip. So we're actually I'm gonna skimp on the hydrogen here. We're gonna send the minimum hydrogen. Off they go. Okay. Stratos has arrived, dropped off the crew. So there's more people living on the moon. Still have plenty of food production for them, and we still have plenty of unemployment, so there's no real concern there. Next thing to do. Stratos is not on Mars. Needs to go to Earth orbit. Add the modules. Pick the crew compartments back, just with no people in them this time. Here's one other thing I want to take along the hydrogen. 50 tons of hydrogen. Minimum fuel. Back to Earth orbit, we're going to pick up the rare metals so that we can build the fuel refinery. fact, in theory, I should be able to do Earth orbit back to the moon as a follow-up mission. Using the Stratos, doing the flight. Do drop, 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 drop. Drop, drop. Drop. Drop, drop. Drop. Add resource. Rare metals. 100. Next. Next. Grab the minimum amount of fuel for the return flight. There we go. And there might even technically be enough fuel there that I can then schedule the next return flight. Luna to Earth orbit. Stratos. Drop the rare metals. Add hydrogen. 100 tons. Nope, not enough fuel yet. That's one of the reasons we're bringing the rare earth metal, so we can make more fuel. Magic Earth. Flies out to the moon. And now the moon has the ability to build more refining. Which, because I have enough power, is exactly what I should probably do right now. That is enough in theory for up to up to 10 refineries. I'm not sure if I have that much water. That's a slightly different problem. Get enough for one water right now. Fuel refinery. Go. And I might as well do a water mine, so we have more water coming in. No concerns about running out of water anytime soon. That's half a power and power and a half. Okay. And I have enough power to spend another 10. Oh, and we're selecting the whole one, so that's actually pretty good. And then, yeah, then at which point I can follow up with the other... I suppose I could actually follow up with a whole another 9 fuel refineries. That I won't have the power for. I can only do... Oh no, I would have the power for that. That would be all the power at that point. Let's just do that. At which point I would have to build more power, but hopefully by then I have the glass to build the power. There we go, there's the power for the next power plant. Next solar array on the Mun. Almost at Lutetia. In fact, we're at Lutetia. And it's done the discovery. So we're getting metal. We're getting rare earth metals. Current rate, 371 years. The metals will last for almost 300 years. Silk can last even longer than that, and the water is coming along. Cool. Anyway, because it's an asteroid, the Prometheus can technically land and take off. And I've already picked up enough titanium, so I could technically do the return trip and complete my quest. I suppose why not? Let's get the Prometheus on the return trip. Prometheus. Who is on Lutetia. Please return to Earth orbit. It technically says to Earth, so I will do to Earth. Instead of Earth orbit. The Prometheus is going to end up staying in Earth orbit because it can't land. Add resources. You're bringing back rare metals. You know what? Into Earth orbit, just bring the metal and the silicon as well. That's currently extracted. I don't need it at Lutetia right now, and I may want it elsewhere. Optimal return window. Leave as much fuel behind as you can. Here we go. And when it gets back, that'll complete probing Lutetia. And I suppose at that point I should start contemplating sending people to Lutetia as a more permanent colony. Because it has water, so there's no reason not to make a more permanent base there. Thinking about it, with my exploration, how many water carbon asteroids do I know? No. In the inner belt. It's just Cutno. Cutno is the only one I've discovered, apparently. Oh, otherwise they're out to the Jupiter Trojans. I'm not sure if we're fuel efficient enough to do a straight burn to the Trojans and the Greeks. When we're done with the fission rockets should be able to casually do that, but I'm not going to assume so yet. And then Ceres. No one Ceres. Is Ceres big enough to have a orbit? No. He's not on immediate blush. Oh, and I don't have enough people on Earth to actually operate Earth facilities. I should get more crew. Go hire more crew. Okay. Do I want to? In fact, let me quickly set these guys as favorites so I don't forget them. So Cutno, you are a favorite, and Ceres is a favorite. Do I want to do a Lutetia and just rock up with a construction module, a probe, 5 mining modules, and a mobile hab on each? To a certain degree, I don't see why not. So let's pop into Earth. What that's telling me is I want to go double construction module, double probe, mobile habitat, mobile habitat. If I'm going to go 5 mining modules, it's going to complain. It's going to make me buy each and every one instead of doing a shift click, unless I buy up the stuff ahead of time. So let's buy the stuff up ahead of time. There we go. Then I can go ahead and just say, give me 10 of those. Oh, and I should buy up enough stuff to ship laboratory equipment out, all of them. Could even go so far as to ship the humans out. Oh, but then I should be radioisotope generators, and I'm gonna make that a little more complicated. You know what? I can. We're thinking it. Pause. Let's get some radioisotope generator construction. 1 each. Radioisotope generators are not super cheap. And it's 50 metal each. That's easy enough to do for the hydroponics farm. The mining drills in both those locations should produce both water and carbon, so we just need to build a hydroponics farm, which is 50 metal. Okay. And then let's bring 100 or 200 alloys each. We got that. 20 electronics and 20 glass. Okay. 20 electronics, 20 glass. Oh, I only have one Prometheus in orbit, so I need to get one of my Promethei back. Before I can launch to both. Although I have one on the return trip right now, so it'll arrive pretty soon. In fact, might arrive before things finish building. Okay, I'm gonna fuel at the moon, that the moon, Stratus on the moon can return to Earth orbit. I got that backwards. Stratos. Add hydrogen. 110. Minimum burn. Back to Earth orbit. There's maybe even an argument to start shipping metal to the moon, because, well, no, not really. Well, if I already have it in space, maybe, but if I don't have it in space, it's not worth shipping it off of Earth to ship to the moon to do the refining. Because we're gonna go through the metal here pretty quick. 4.7 years. 7.7. There's actually an argument to get more carbon on the moon. Oh, that came from the Hermes, I think. Apparently the humans reproduced in Earth orbit before we left. We've got one human here. Someone missed the ship. Someone really missed the ship. Okay, let's drop that on Earth. We'll take the one down, just so he's not stuck in orbit. Eating my limited food. There we go. Oh, need to bring more food up to orbit at some point. And we got someone out to Mars. We got someone inbound to Earth. We got 2 at Earth. Okay, so at Earth, we're literally just waiting for these to be built so I can do the shipment out to Ceres and Cutno. Oh, I suppose also got to launch them into orbit. Although the Falcon's ready for that, so that shouldn't be too hard to do. Oops. The Martian guys have arrived, yes. So, descend to Mars. Mars orbit to Mars. Orbital payload container. $200 tons of people transport. Radioisotope generator and construction equipment. And 200 tons of hydrogen. And 200 tons of alloys. My 100 people apparently made a person in the duration. Okay. That's going to complicate things, because I don't have any way... Well, I suppose I could leave the food up there. At least some of the food up there. Contract complete! Mars colony! Finally, Mars is not just an outpost, but a proper settlement. You have managed to accommodate the entire community living far from Earth. We have made the impossible dream come true. I could probably do with a little bit of noise balancing. Mars City. With early colony established, we need to look towards expanding our base operations on Mars. Being self-sufficient is not enough for us. The colony needs to prosper, bring profits, and serve as an example for future establishments. Get 1,000 people living on Mars. Not up in Mars orbit. How long? Okay, so that one guy, because we left him with 80-something supplies in orbit, is going to be able to live there for 200 years until we figure out some way to get him, you know, out of Mars orbit. And again, we have no capacity to get stuff off of Mars at the moment, so these crew compartments are going to get disbanded. All of them go poof to rapidly industrialize Mars. So we got enough food. Theory. We'll pass a little bit of time to see if that updates. Yeah, looks like we have enough food. And I got tons of metal. Theory for the moment. Tons of power. What shall I build? Some alloy production doesn't sound too bad. We can get Martian industry completed. Like so. I probably want some local hydrogen production. Let's grab a... Or actually, before I get too off topic, get the research laboratory going. And the vehicle assembly going. Oh, I don't have the alloys for the vehicle assembly. I am 5 short. Although we'll have that pretty quickly with the alloy smelting, so I should not be concerned about that being a shortage point. The research lab, of course, is going to let us research faster. I suppose at some point I'm going to want another habitat, so I'm just going to get another habitat in queue. Yeah, so 2 of these are going to get built at the time. So these 2 are going to get done at the same time. So I'm going to get some oxygen and hydrogen production going. No, as a gas. So it's already in the atmosphere. So Mars has a scarce but not non-zero atmosphere. I could technically dump some oxygen into it, but that's probably not a great plan. There's even an oxygen deposit underground, so in theory I could be mining oxygen to later release. I'm not going to do that right now. Yeah, I think we're going to let that build. Do I start trying to get glass produced here? I suppose I should probably get some glass produced here. I don't need as much as I do on the moon, because the solar rays are worse. Yeah, solar rays are worse. I'm not going to be building space telescopes anytime soon. I don't need an observatory. Yeah. So I'll probably do 1 silicon mine into... Oh, and the glass kiln is going to require... So I can hold off on the silicon mine until we've got the alloys built up. Then probably after that, that means the metal wants to get spent on... Mostly on more metal production. Something like that. Okay, let's let some time pass. We're waiting for stuff to build on Earth. Got a bit of a construction boom going on, both on Earth, the Moon, and Mars. Although I wouldn't be surprised if the Moon's coming. Nope, the Moon's got a way to go. And we do have that probe heading out to Pluto, which I think just hit Jupiter, is what we just heard. Oh no, it just arrived at Pluto. It's arrived. And the Selene is not actually consumed, so it's parked at Pluto. So if I had enough fuel that it could go somewhere, we could still do stuff with it, but we don't have enough fuel. It is truly stuck there. 12 megatons of noble gas. Interesting. If we were running electric drives, that'd be a place to go, I suppose. All my Earth modules are done, so it's launch time. It is launch time. The places I'm going to have carbon and water, yes. So I don't need to bring anything other than maybe supplies. If I want to set up labs right away. So let's first look into Earth-to-Earth orbit. I might actually want to take two launches, to be fair. Add the modules. Because I'm technically going to two different places, so if I don't have enough to... I probably have enough to do all one, right? Let's leave that crew modules off for the moment. So that is... theory, if I haven't screwed up. Yeah. That is all the modules outside of the crew modules. And then I'm going to want 100 metal, because it's 50 each, for the solar power, or for the research labs. Not for the research labs, for the farms. Hydroponic farm. We're bringing mining modules, so I don't need to bring the metal to make any of the extractors, but I need to bring the metal to make the farm, because the people living in the research lab probably want a farm. Technically, I'm not bringing enough people to optimally run the lab and the farm. I'll probably prioritize the farm over the labs. The lab will run at like 75%. That's fine for a start. Or do I go for another 10 people and do an outpost? Outpost would be another 10 people I could bring to each location. In which case, if I'm doing that, I should add another 40 each, so 180. And then it's going to be alloys, so add resource. Yeah, so it looks like I'm going to need two launches. I'm going to need one that is send the stuff up, one that is send the people up. 20 rare metals, 20 electronics. And I'll fill up the remaining space on the first launch here with more supplies. In fact, that would be the supplies for the outpost, pretty much. So we basically arrive, we do an outpost into a farm, into a research lab. And those locations will provide us additional research to get us to the end of fission quicker. And I need more fuel. 200,000 in fuel. Get to launch, that's fine. Which reminds me, on the moon, we're expanding fuel production capacity. We still don't have a lot, but we're expanding it. That's what we're actively doing on the moon. And over on Mars, we're just about to come up on the quest done. Martian industry. The factory is operational. The steady supply of carbon from Phobos will be able to produce as much as we need. The true Mars expansion starts now. Oh, we haven't sorted out that carbon, guys. We're just using metal on Mars. But yeah, trading on other planets. So if we have an excess resource, perhaps we're in need of some more. We can always trade other species, other space corporations. Make an offer to sell 200. Of course, that means I need 200 alloys on Mars. There's no extra corporations in the game, so we can wait a little bit because we're actually producing it. I guess we'll get up to 200, and I can do the proposal, and then I can rescind it. Is basically how we're going to do that. There's no one technically in the game to buy it from me because I turned the other corporations off. Well, as a challenge, mainly. Okay, sell. New offer. Mars. Resource. Alloy. Sell. 200 tons. Contract complete. Offer made. And now just wait for an eager buyer. Edit. Dumpster it. Take it back. Take it back. I want my alloys. You know, saving up 200 for something. Research or something. Or vehicle or something. So I can build my launch vehicles when the time comes. I should probably build a, and yeah, I've decided I need to. Let's build one carbon mine on Earth, so that I can not be running negative on carbon on Earth and produce a little bit more and have the food supplies go up. Probably should ship more carbon to the moon. Oh, did the Eagle already do my launch? It did. So we worked out that I was going to send another... Well, I was going to send 300 or 30 people to each of those two locations. So I've actually got more containers, although those are technically the ones for the moon. I can build the replacements for them. That'll work out. Launch-wise, otherwise, what do I want to send up? Suppose I can buy some carbon. Let's buy some carbon for the moon. Buy some supplies. 200, 500. Yeah, let's just buy some supplies. I'll fill it up with supplies. We'll ship with the rest of the supplies. Rest of the supplies. Earth 2. Earth orbit. Orbital payload container. Add module. Add module. Module. So it's 120. 130 each. So let's back from pop back in. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Oh no, it's 6 hits, so I need 2 more. Back down. Cancel out of this for a moment. Earth needs 2 more of those to go out to both at the same time. Crew compartments build relatively quickly, so. Let's get those launched to orbit. Earth to Earth orbit. On the Eagle. Oops, I want to bring some other stuff along. Resources. I want like 200 tons of carbon in orbit. Technically, this is not going out to those. It's technically going out to the moon, but we're doing multiple deliveries up to the space at the time. Yeah, I guess it was just carbon and more supplies. We'll fill the thing out with supplies. Okay, so in Earth orbit, I have 2 different destinations. Well, I have 3 different destinations in mind. Let's do the ones that involve humans first. So Earth to, not Mercury. Earth to, no, on Prometheus. Earth orbit to Cutnow on the Prometheus. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So that's the crew. Now to make sure I bring along the correct resources. So I need 90 metal. Because I want to do the outpost and the farm. So that's 90. Research lab is... So it's just those 3 things, right? It's the outpost, the outpost, the farm, and the research lab. And resources. So 100 alloys. 10 rares. 10 electronics. 10 glass. Did I forget to ship the glass to orbit? Forgot to ship the glass to orbit. This has to be delayed for a smidge. Earth orbit. 2. The moon. Stratos. Add some of your carbon. So you take 100 tons of carbon with you. How much fuel do I have on the moon? Because I need to come back with the glass. Fairly quick order. I can always launch more fuel from Earth, so we'll do the full, what we got left in orbit to get it there and back quickly. I've got enough supplies that it's not really a concern that they're sitting in orbit for too long, but... Luna, back to Earth orbit. Stratos. Add resources. This time we're actually not coming with a full load, because I only need enough glass for 2 research laboratories, which is 20 glass. now I can get back to doing that planning. Earth orbit to... No. Prometheus. Add a module, different module type. Add a module, different module type. Add a module, mining module. 5 mining modules. Add a module, different module type. Add a module, crew module. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that we're bringing 30 crew. Add resources. Metal, 90. Add resources. Alloys, 100. Add resources. Rare metal, 10. Add resources. Electronics, 10. Add resources. Glass, 10. And then in theory, that's all I need. Oh, I should bring some flies. I can probably get away with hijacking 100 of the supplies here in orbit. So add flies 100. Launch vehicle on optimal. Yep, just go with all the fuel. Full fuel tank. The reason being is while I probably won't want to return full, I almost, well, if I go out at like this, I will need to almost be fuel full to return. Because it's a 416 transit, so it's going to be 416 back, and we're only going to have 344 on arrival. So I'm going to have to actually leave things behind if I have to come back. I hopefully shouldn't need to come back, but off we go. Okay, let's plan the other one. So this is Earth orbit to Ceres. Prometheus. Add module. Add module. Add module. Add module. This should be a lot easier because I don't have any modules that I don't want to send. Add metal 90. Add do allies, so I can do it in the order. 100. Add electronics 10. Add rares 10. Add glass 10. Add supplies 100. Same sort of logic. We're even going to have less fuel going to Ceres. Ceres is farther out. So, take everything. And for the moment, I think that's a good deal. Is that the Earth 10? Is that my... Yeah, that's my quest coming. I'm going to run this a little bit late, a little bit long. We're already a little bit long, already an hour and 23. We're going to let Lutetia, the mission from Lutetia, the probing Lutetia mission, complete here by coming back. At which point we'll put the part break in, and we'll have a slightly different list of quests at that point, maybe to figure out which one we're going to go for next. Here we go. Contract complete. Probing Lutetia. Resource cataloging started. We've detected valuable siderophile elements ready for extraction in the samples. You really proved the viability of asteroid mining. This is a big step in the space race. Required to unlock Beyond Mars. Asteroid contract unlocked. Asteroid mining. Important information, asteroid mining. Asteroids, while lacking the tremendous amount of resources that planets have, are easily mined and have negligible gravity. This means resources mined from them can be easily transported, as expensive launch vehicles or facilities are not required. Kind of important for us because we don't have any launch vehicles, because we're going fissile. Everything except for the one Eagle. Mining outposts in the belt or near Earth asteroids will let you acquire resources from planetary colonies lack without relying on expensive purchases on Earth. Okay, so for next time, that presents us with 2 new contracts to complete. Beyond Mars, which is send a spacecraft to a moon of Jupiter, and asteroid mining, which we've mostly completed, because Lutetia is a mine. It is an asteroid, and we've got mining stuff there. Have a rare metal extractor on any asteroid. So that would probably make the most sense to do on Lutetia. Let's just be fair. And in fact, I could build the miner before the minees get there, which would complete that quest. We're not going to do that right now in this play session. I may think about doing that in the next one, because that's basically what it's telling us to do. Hey, send people to Lutetia and mine rare metals. Ceres will have some noble gases. Same sort of logic, but yeah, I think we're off to a good start in the run here. Twitch chat saying, "Hi, is that the Stellaris soundtrack?" Yes, that is the Stellaris soundtrack. I think I have a thing up here reminding people the background music is the Stellaris soundtrack, because the Solar Expanse soundtrack by default I think is less, at least gets flagged on YouTube. I don't know if it is actually YouTube unfriendly, but it gets flagged at least. And I know that from doing the demo. But yeah, the game is going well here. We have a colony on Mars, although we have a quest to make the colony on Mars bigger. We have a fairly good colony going on the moon, mostly cranking out glass and fuel, and, well, it's also cranking out hydrogen. Hydrogen is a different type of fuel, I suppose. Mostly cranking out hydrogen fuel and feeding itself. Our monthly balance is getting worse, not better, because we're not being aggressive enough at generating more colonists, but that is what we're going to try to do, is get more and more colonists out into space. And next time, I guess we're going to be sending off people to Jupiter, and getting asteroid mining going. Tech-wise, we are doing a kind of a rush to get a fission-based launch vehicle. The nuclear launch vehicles are... if I can find them in the tech tree. Here they are quite a deepness into the tree. They're 15 years from now, still deeper in the tree. We're making pretty good time. We're down to 3 techs left to go. But you can see how many days are left. That's quite a few days. That's one reason I'm doing the transits out to the water carbon asteroids, because those are fairly easy places to set up research outposts to accelerate research. Because at the moment, like, if you're sort of playing normally, you would do that on Mars and Phobos, in addition to, or Phobos and Deimos, because you've got carbon on one and water on the other, so it's very easy to trade back and forth to get food going. That doesn't work so well for me because I don't have a launch vehicle until I get to nuclear launch vehicles here because of the house rule I'm running by. And that is a house rule. You're not as NASA not forced to run full fission on everything. I'm running full fission because I think that makes it a bit more thematic. I think it makes it a little bit of a harder playthrough. And we in this run had access to only 1 Eagle, 1 Stratos, and 1 Hermes because the quests call for them either implicitly or explicitly. I've already gone ahead and disassembled the Hermes because honestly, in comparison to the Fission option, the Hermes isn't that good. Like, the Hermes is good. Don't get me wrong. If you're not running Prometheus, Hermes is like the next best thing. And honestly, without any of the upgrades, Hermes does Prometheus' job better. But now that we've got one of the upgrades on the Fission line, Prometheus does everything that Hermes does with a cheaper, more available fuel, and it's going to get better. So this is 100% more thrust, 100% more exhaust efficiency is more fuel efficiency, 75% more fuel efficiency. So it's basically going to get double the effectiveness. We've already got a plus 100%, so I think the effects add, not multiply off of each other. And then we do have other fission spacecraft up here. We've got Hephaestus, the Array, Rene, and the Kronos. And to do Kronos, we already have the I suppose technically Kronos could do everything the nuclear launch vehicles could do as well, and more. It's basically the Stratos of the Fission line is the Kronos, I think. I think you are the Stratos of the Fission line. Single stage to orbit spacecraft powered by a closed-cycle gas core nuclear thermal rocket. A set of 7 engines lets this Colossus lift itself and a kiloton of payload into Earth orbit and beyond. Yes. Probably not as fuel efficient as some of the other ones. So that's 20 kms. Hephaestus is 30. Rain is 100. And this is before the tech multipliers. Kronos is back down at 40. So Kronos is probably going to be making Prometheus obsolete at that point. Capable of simply cutting down travel time. It might even make Hephaestus here obsolete, honestly. It's not going to make a Rain obsolete. Rain will probably hang around at that point. 2.5k higher KMS. Although we're 19 years. This one's actually fairly easy. I could get this one right now. This would be 4 years. If we needed a better fission vehicle, this would be the better fission vehicle. But I'm trying to run to... I don't really need better fission spaceships until I have better fission launch vehicles. And I have 0 fission launch vehicles, so we need to get those before we really invest more in more spaceships. And I suppose that's why we're doing... Actually, the wrong button there. Why we're doing more investment in research outposts. So I've got people going out to Ceres and Kutno. That'll give us 2 more research labs. Bring our research lab count from 3 to 5. I think each of those is about a 3% research efficiency modifier. So for every 100 days, it's 103 days. For each one, so those add up decently. Yeah, looks like the asteroid belt here. Those are the interesting ones we discover in the asteroid belt. At that point, we're out to the Jupiter Trojans, or out to Jupiter. So yeah, I suppose it's out. We might be looking. In the next part, we might be looking to try and send guys out to Ganymede and Almathea for more carbon, more water, and maybe even some fizzles. But I've let this part go on for half an hour over time. I hope everyone has been enjoying. I'll suppose I'll do a couple of reminders here. Just a reminder, the default audio in this game, I think, is not necessarily YouTube friendly, so I've replaced it with Stellaris, or more importantly, I've turned the audio off, basically, for the music audio, and have the Stellaris soundtrack playing in the background. Because I know the Stellaris one's YouTube friendly. And we're running by the house rule fission all the way, so other than spaceships and launch vehicles explicitly called for, or implicitly called for, by contracts, we are only using fission-based ones at the moment. So that means I get 1 Eagle, 1 Stratos, and 1 Hermes. I've already deleted that 1 Hermes because the Prometheuses are better than it. But that is giving us a little bit of a throughput issue due to having 1 Eagle to do all launch off of Earth until we get to nuclear launch vehicles, which is what we're working towards. The run will continue. This is not going to be the end of the run. If you're watching this on YouTube, there probably will be another part up tomorrow because we should be around to recording it by then. If you're watching on Twitch, let me go over the schedule for the next couple days. If you're watching this on YouTube, that schedule will be your last couple days at this point. So if you can't wait until it comes live on YouTube, you can sneak over to Twitch and watch the Twitch VOD, which will be up for the next 14 days. So today was Solar Expanse. Tomorrow is going to be Songs of Six. We're going to try to get up to Astrotier as our Tyrant city. Thursday is going to be Factorio. Friday, we're going to be back to Solar Nation. And then on Saturday, or Solar Nations 2 on Friday. On Saturday, we'll be back to Solar Expanse here, and we will be continuing to expand. More people on Mars, more people on the Moon, more people on various water, carbon asteroids. We may expand to places that are not just water and carbon, although that will get a little more fiddly, because then we'll have to make sure that the water and the carbon and the food gets delivered. But that would be the plan. So if you're watching on Twitch, this is the last call for comments, for me to respond to comments. I'll do a refresh of the chat after I stop the YouTube recording. If you're watching on YouTube or later on the Twitch VOD, YouTube is a fairly good place for asynchronous comments. So feel free to hop into the YouTube channel and leave comments over there. I do try to respond to all the YouTube comments, although sometimes a little on the Twitch ones I'm a little bit behind schedule. But yeah, I do try to respond to all the YouTube ones. So until next time, I'm going to wish everyone the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part and/or stream, and bye for now.